Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Michelle, and quite a lot of you are beginning beaders, and so I thought I'd take it back to the basics. Now I've got some requests for some different stitches to learn. I'm just going to go back to the basics and do a series of videos to teach you the beginning stitches of beading, okay? So today we're going to do a herringbone chain, and I think they're really, you can use them for a lot of things. You can make all different colors and swap out the pendants that you put on them. The possibilities are endless. So today I'm gonna do my chain in two different colors. All right, so I've got some I'm using 8/0s. The smaller you want your chain, the smaller beads. If you want a smaller chain, use 11/0s, and an even smaller chain, you would use 15/0s. But I want mine to be a little bit more substantial, and especially for video purposes. So I've got some black diamond silver lined frosted toe hose, size 8/0s. And I also have some black diamond gold lined toe hose in 8/0s. I've got some antique silver frosted 11/0s, and I've got a silver clasp. Alright, because today we're making a chain. Now, the next video I'm going to be making a pendant to put on the chain that utilizes brick stitch. I've got some requests for that. Alright, so get your material. Oh, I've got a size 10 beading needle, and I've got a wingspan of fireline with a stop bead with about a 6-inch tail. Alright, so get your materials together, come back, and we'll get started. Okay, so we'll begin by picking up. It's always going to be a series of 2 beads in the same order. So I'm going to pick up one silver lined gold and one of the next color, the second color, frosted silver 8/0. Okay, we'll bring those down to the stop bead. Alright, and then we'll go up. Here's our stop bead. We'll go up through that first bead right before the stop bead, and we'll pull our thread down. Now watch what happens. They lay beside one another, just like that. So now we're going to go, just to reinforce, we're going to go back down through the next bead, and up through, back up through the one on the left. And that's our position for adding beads every single time, okay? We're coming out that left bead. Alright, so we're going to pick up our left bead color and the right bead color. Always pick them up in the same sequence. You're going to come down through the right, and back up the left. If you hear a chainsaw in the background, I apologize. I don't think it's very loud because my dad's up on the hill cutting firewood. It's a little distance away, so I hope you can't hear it. But if you can, sorry. Now we're going to pick up, see, we're back in their starting position. We're going to pick up same sequence. For me, it's a gold and then a silver. We're going to come down through. To me, I think I'm going to come down through just when we're getting started. I like to really reinforce that end. So I'm going to come down through both. Make sure your beads are laying right. you know, side by side. And then I'm going to come back up through all three on the left. Okay. And this is all we do, picking up that left and right seed bead. Now, after you get the beginning started, after I do 3 sets, I come down through the first one. From now on, and then straight across, coming out that second seed bead, straight across, put your needle up through the 2 on the left. It's a little fiddly in the beginning because you've got a small piece to hold on to. If you can't get both of them at once, just go through the one and then the other. And pick up your beads, come down through the one, and we'll come up through the 2. And pick up your beads, come down through the one, and up through the 2. Pick up your beads, come down through the one, and back up through the 2. Alright, let's do it one more time. Pick up your beads, 2 beads, always in the same succession. Come down through the 1 on the right, and go straight across and back up through the 2. Okay, now how long do you want to make your necklace? That's another question you want to ask yourself. Do you like a 16-inch? Do you like a choker? Do you like a 20-inch, a 24-inch? You know, how long do you like it? And get your tape measure out. And I don't have my tape measure right here right now, but I like to use the sewer, like people that a sewing tape measure. It's like material, flimsy, you know, so you can move it along with anything you need to measure. So if you don't have one of those are important. Get one of those. Also, you could use, just a minute, I've got a bigger bead tray for, we'd use for a necklace, but this is an example. I got this at Dollar Tree yesterday, and it's a bead tray. See here, and then you can use that to measure if you want a shorter necklace, or they sell larger ones. This would be good for a bracelet. This is more for stringing, but you can also measure on here. Okay. And they have these at Dollar Tree. They're getting a lot of new things in. I got some. It's another thing you might want to pick up. This is a video for beginners. So I'm going to be giving you tips, helpful tips also, along with beading. Dollar Tree also sells these. These are good. They've got the rubber tip. They hold your beading wire or macrame cord, anything you need. These are helpful in beading. I got some bigger ones. Not sure if I've never used the bigger ones, so I'm not sure how helpful they'll be. There's just a few things that you can get for very cheap, for $1 each, that will aid you in your beading process. Alright, so get your length finished, come back, and we'll put the clasp on. Alright, I've got that much made, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about seed beads. Alright, there's different brands of seed beads, and there's Czech, there's Toho, and there's Miyuki. Alright, if you want a more squared off seed bead, the Tohos have a little more boxy look. They're a little more square than the Miyukis. Miyuki's a little more round. And then the Czech, depending on what, if you buy the Czech Preciosa, they are very round too. Let me show you. Let me show you what the Czech Preciosa. Now the regular Czech are not as uniform as the Preciosas. This is what the Czech Preciosa looks like from Hobby Lobby, but let me show you. I got a little 15-0 in there. Well, anyway, that's what they look like, and they are round. They remind me a lot of a Miyuki, except these have a lot smaller holes than a Miyuki does. See that? That's a more rounded off seed bead. Whereas the Toho, this is an 8-0, but it's a little more squared. If we take a look at them together, you'll see they're shaped a little different. But personally, when it comes to seed beads, I like the Preciosa, I like the Toho, and I like the Miyuki. Just depending on what you're making. I use them all. But I love the Miyuki better than I do a Toho. And if the Czech Preciosa, the holes were a little bigger, they'd be right up there for me with the Miyuki. I just wanted to let you know a little bit about what seed beads you might want to buy. Alright, I'm going to finish my working on my herringbone necklace, and I'll come back in the next step. Alright, I'm running out of thread, so I thought I would show you what I do. Now, I've already sewed in a little bit, but I thought I'd better come and show you. So I'm coming up this side. I had a little more thread than this. You're going to need more thread than this. You know, 6 inches. When you're down to 6 inches, let's start sewing in. So just come down through some beads, and what we're going to do is we're going to reverse directions. I went straight across and up through that gold bead. Now I'll come straight across down through that silver bead. Alright, and I'll come down another silver bead. What we're doing is just going in circles. Reverse direction. Like I said, I've been doing this for a few minutes, so you're going to do this quite a few times. Like I said, with about 6 inches of thread. I'm going to go back up, back down, and then come down another one. go back up the left side, down the right side, back up the left side. I'm almost out of thread myself. I'll go down on the right, and then I'll cut my thread off there. And then I'll start a new thread. Oops. Then I'll start a new thread, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got a new thread on my needle. I've got a stop bead with just a small tail, because when we sew this in, we can just cut that tail off. We don't have to sew that tail. And I'm going to start down a little lower, and I'm going to go up through a couple of beads. And pull that down. And my stop bead will catch it. Right, then I'm going to go straight across. I'm going to come down through a couple of beads, like that. And I'm going to go back up through the same two. And then I'm going to come back down the same two. Whenever you want to reverse directions, all you got to do is pull your tail thread straight over, and that's the beads you're going to go down. So I came down 3 instead of 2. I'm going to go straight over and up 1. Down 1. Up 1. Now, take that stop bead off. We want to test and see. That's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. So I'm just going to go straight up through and out where I want to be coming out on the left side for me. If you want to start on the right always, that's up to you. Where's it at? There it is. And I'm going to be coming out the top left side of those beads. Now personally, when I get done making my herringbone, I'll show you what I do. I don't want to go into detail right now. I don't want to confuse you, so just keep going from there. You're ready to maybe finish your chain. Alright, here we are, and I've got my necklace on a bead tray, and it's measuring a little over 16 inches, right where I want it. By the time I get my clasp one, it'll be about 17 inches. Alright, for this purpose, that's the length that I want. If you want a longer length, then you go right ahead and keep on beading. Alright, so we are going to add the clasp. Go ahead and I'll add the round part first. Let me get everything set here. Alright, so before I add the clasp, I'm going to add a couple of 11 seed beads and bring them down. I think I'm going to add, yes, an 8-0. Yep. And then the toggle. I'll pick up the toggle. You can also make a bead toggle where you just use like an 8mm bead here and then make your own loop on the other side. But I'm going to come down through that 8-0 seed bead, the one we added last. Oops. And pull. And that'll pull that right up. Add 2 11-0s. 1, 2. And I'm going to come down through that silver, 2 silver needles on the other side. Let me pull this up. There we go. Where is my loop? Where's my thread, I mean? There we go. Now I'll pull it down. And our clasp is on. Now we need to reinforce that. So we're coming out one side, we'll go straight across, straight up through the 8-0s, the 11-0s, and finally the center 8-0 there. Okay, I'm going to come up through the loop. Back down through that 8-0 and the other side. See if I can get 2 of the, yep. Back down through all 5 of those beads. Alright, I'm going to go straight across. Do it again. You want your pieces to be secure. See, and I went right up through that loop at the same time, but you don't have to. You go through the 8-0s, the 11-0s. This black thread gets my fingers so black. The 8-0 and then the loop. And then you come down through that 8-0. The 2 11-0s and the 8-0s. How many times do you think we want to do that? At least 3, but since we're working with some pretty big beads in the 8-0s, we want our piece to be as secure as possible, so we want to kind of fill those beads with thread. I don't know why I have a loop there. There we go. Back up through that loop. Do this as many times as you think necessary. And do it 4 or 5 times personally. And come back. Alright, so we're finished with that side of the clasp. Okay, so I told you I'm going to make a pendant to go with this necklace, but that's going to be in the next video. If I were to go ahead and put this side of the clasp on, maybe my bail wouldn't go over that clasp, that toggle, part of the toggle clasp. So I'm going to leave that side unfinished until we do the pendant. If you want to finish it, if you just want to wear this as a chain, go ahead and do the exact same thing we did on this side over on this side. But we're going to, at least, if you're going to wait for me and do the pendant, let's go ahead and get ready. get our thread ready. So we're going to go down through one side of this necklace, and we're working our way to the other side. Okay, so let's just needle our way down. This also kind of straightens your beads, so I really recommend going through and doing this at both sides if you need to straighten out your herringbone. So I'm just working my way down, taking caution not to miss any bead, because that'll make a kink in your necklace. And we kind of want this to look like a chain. That's why I use metallic colors. I really like the matte with the shiny metallic as well. Goes well together. So once we get down to the other side, in the next video we are going to brick stitch around a crystal pear-shaped bead and make the pendant that goes with this necklace. I got a request to do that, and that works out for my series on beginner's beading. Back to basics. If you haven't liked or subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to join us. I can't wait to get enough subscribers to have a community tab where we can do all sorts of things. Also, I'll put a link underneath. I'm going to start to put a link under my videos to my Facebook page, and everything I make in my YouTube videos, I'm going to put in my Facebook shop for sale, in case anybody wants, loves it and wants to buy it. So here we are. We've talked and beaded our way down to the end, and we're ready to add that second half, or the pendant, and then the second half of the clasp. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Herringbone stitch is a very important stitch, one of the first important stitches to learn when you begin to bead, and you can make a lot of cool things. Alright, and have fun. Alright everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.